Man.
It was harder on Nayely.
It was a real journey with that girl.
Yeah.
She would have stomach pains.
Mm-hmm.
She was lethargic.
The fever was relentless, though.
The fever would only come down a few points because of medicine.
But she was over 100 the whole time.
And we tried to let her body fight it and, you know, give it a chance to do what it normally needs to do and knows how to do. But it would go so high that...
And she would get, like, the rapid heartbeats and everything. Yeah,
Nayely has a tendency to have very high... rapid heartbeats with her fever. Her face was getting puffy. Yeah. And her eyes were getting bloodshot red. And her hands would be like very, very super, super, super red. And her feet, the bottoms of her feet would be really, really, really red. And
well, she got up in the morning and I tested her temperature, and that, I mean, we ain't never seen it that high. But at that point it was like, all right, we got to take this girl in immediately. We're doing a lot of what we can do around here, but what is the next thing we should do? Normally, you will take a child in and not give them any medicine so they can see exactly where the child is at. But not at that temperature. We're not doing that. Like we weren't gonna leave her like that. We immediately gave her medicine so that she could be able to bring that thing down. So by the time she got to the urgent care, it got down to 102.
Yeah, 102.9, something like that.
Right, but then this gets into a whole other story.
Yeah, so, journey. You know, we get there and I'm waiting.
And now really quick, this time I'm actually home with the child. I'm watching Amalah. I'm not just by myself celebrating being 40. Like, I'm home with Amalah. This was...
After your birthday.
Immediately after my birthday. Yeah. My girls knew. Yeah. And so that's why they wanted us to celebrate like this.
I'm holding her like this. And it took them a little while, and then they let me come in through the back, and the nurse is like, oh my gosh, I thought she was a baby. The way you held her looked like she was just this little baby, and I thought it was a baby, you know, dealing with this high fever. I'm like, well, no.
Because it's so different if a child is 4, right?
I'm like, no, it's a child. It's my child. I mean, she's my baby, but she still has this very high temperature. And so she was like, well, I prepared for a little baby, you know, the weight thing and everything. And so she was like, well, the scale's right there. Just let her stand on the scale. She's a big girl. She can stand on the scale. And it was like, well, okay. And I was like, well, she's a little weak, but, you know, so, you know, I just wanted to keep that in mind. And she's like, she'll be just fine. Just stand her on there. And you know, Nayely's just looking at me, and, you know, she has her mask on, and because she's just like, I don't want to stand on this thing by myself. So I put her on there, and I'm like, I'm going to let your hands go really quick just so they get your weight, and then I'm going to pick you right up. And so she did it. And
just to put this out there too, when she gets into zones like this, when it's the fever and the fatigue and the red cheeks and all of that stuff, I mean, I've seen the girl take medicine like this. Yeah. Like, her body, like, it's hard to watch.
It's very hard to watch. Yeah. And she's disoriented. Yeah. She does this thing where she no longer looks at you. She looks, like, through you or past you, because she's just gazing at that point.
Yeah, that's a lot for the body to fight at 4 years old.
Right. Man. Yeah. She no longer, like, focuses on, you know, I mean, she knows who we are,
of obviously. Course, yeah.
But, so it's heart-wrenching to witness that.
And it could be for anybody and their own child.
Right. And so I pick her right up, and I put her on the bed, and she's going through the questions, like, you know, did she take a COVID test? I said no, because you know, my oldest daughter has it, and we're all quarantining. Right. And, you know, the doctor said that, you know, most likely she does have it, and I didn't want to subject her to, you know,
trying to get a rapid test all over.
Even though I knew about the Al Lopez thing, it was just like, we know what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, we don't have to guess.
And so the first thing she did was check her temperature. It was 102, and she's like, I'm going to do it again with another thermometer and see, and it was like really low. So she was like, well, okay, obviously that one isn't right. And so she was like, I'm just going to go with the 102.9 since you just gave her medicine about 20 minutes ago. Right. And then she was like, I'm going to still give her more medicine because it is very high and her heart rate is really high. And I just need those things to both lower some more. So I'm like, that's fair enough. We did it. She was nice enough to give her a popsicle. She gave her some stickers, and the nurse comes in and is like, I need to do these things, but one is a swab up her nose, one is in the back of her throat, and the other, the doctor will have to check her ear. So, Nayely has already been showing signs she is done with the medical, like any kind of medical thing. And that has been like over time, recent times, like maybe in the past year.
Because she was tested for COVID last year when she had a fever and we didn't know what to do. Right. She had been in situations where just in case. Right. Because anytime you're sick and you go in, they're going to check you for that.
Yeah. And she's been in the urgent care. It's just not been a positive experience. And so this time she is now starting to fight and have full on tantrums. So she started fighting and I held her down and I was, the lady's trying to talk to her. I'm like, it'd be best if you just do it. And so she's still trying to talk to her. And I'm like, if you could just do it and I can maybe hold her in my face, but you just go ahead and do the thing while I hold her, because I can't just hold her like this the whole time. She still wanted to do her way, and then she finally just went on and did it, because I'm like, Nayely's still fighting. She's screaming, going through the whole thing. So I'm holding her, and they do the thing in the back, because Nayely has a thing where she will bite down on the stick, and you can't get it out.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, and I say nothing at that point, because I'm like, lady obviously has her own agenda of how she think things should go. So I just let her do her thing, and Nayely actually complied and did it enough, Right. And then she gives her a popsicle.
How much can you expect from a 4-year-old? Yeah.
And so she gives her popsicles, and she does all that stuff, and we're waiting there for hours, and we just have.
I'm hearing some of this for the first time. I didn't know about the biting down on the wow.
You remember details after you've kind of allowed yourself to kind of be done with the whole thing for a while.
Because it's been it's been weeks now, yeah.
She gives popsicles, she has the stickers, and I'm just there chilling with Nayely, and Nayely's uncomfortable, and I want to go home, I want to be with Daddy, I want to be with Amalah,
But that's you knew it was bad for her to ask for me.
She was just like, I want to go home.
She don't ever be like, where's Daddy at?
Yeah.
That's look, you hear that? Yeah. It's usually where's Mommy, where's Amalah. So you knew it was really bad if she's like, I want to go home to Daddy. Where's Daddy at?
Listen, that girl asked for Daddy so much.
My God.
And so we're there for hours because somebody happened to be in crisis at that same time. So
which was a cause for the majority of this stuff, right? Well, I will say that because I know we try to be sensitive to the fact of people in the medical field are going through a whole lot too. But I think the hard point is when things are going on and there's not extra help for them. I mean, everybody is coming in to get care for their kids. So it's hard for you to be like, oh, I'm okay if my kid is treated like a number. Or just another one, nobody feels good in a situation like that, even though we know it's hard on both sides.
Yeah, for those giving the care, and for those getting
receiving care.
And I really tried to keep in my mind, man, somebody's going through it right now.
So it's just an interesting journey. And with all of that said, the good part of that experience is they sent us home and told us to give her Tylenol and Motrin.
No.
The same things. No, they gave her a special combo. They said take them. Oh, Lord.
They not only sent us with Tylenol and Motrin, they sent us a prescription.
Have you ever heard of that? Prescription for Tylenol?
Of the same Tylenol and Motrin that you see in the counter.
Yeah.
In the aisles.
Just for us to pay more money for it. Yeah. But once again, much love to the medical field.
Yeah.
Still, honestly. Yeah.
The information that they gave us was absolutely wrong.